and welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. It's T2T Wrestling, and we are going to have the results of that WrestleMania Night 1. I'm here with Tim.
Everyone.
Yeah, Night 1 was interesting. Okay, you want to
Not as
start?
interesting as Night 2, but definitely interesting.
I mean, it started off with Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. Can't go wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
No.
This is correct, especially not in Dallas.
Right?
I
And
don't
cheerleaders
think I
and
would
Cowboys.
I don't think I would bring them out in Philadelphia. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, or I wouldn't definitely not bring them out in like Las Vegas since.
No, next year in LA is probably not going to be the best decision either. But
Right,
when you happen to be in Texas, I guess it's a decent decision.
I guess. I mean, maybe. But let's go ahead and start, guys, with the first match. To start off with the SmackDown Tag Team Championship was Shinsuke and Boogs versus the Usos. Which was very.
It was a thing.
It was a thing.
First of all, Nakamura's entrance music is still one of the best in the business.
Yes.
Start with the positive. That's just amazing. Also, McAfee going completely commentator, going completely bananas to everything is just. I like him, but can you dial it down just a little bit? When Boogs did a suplex and he was like, "That dude has the strength of 1,000 suns."
Yeah, well, he was on the desk, just dancing.
Just
I'm like,
to the entrance,
you can't take this fool anywhere, okay? Like, what are you doing?
I like you. I'm sure you're gonna be good. Dial it down.
Like, right, take it down as a notch. I know it's WrestleMania, you're trying to hype it up of like, and take it down like a couple of notches down, okay? Just relax.
Just one notch down. I think we will be fine. But like, he has the strength of 1,000. So I'm gonna start using that every time someone does a suplex. It's like, oh, Brock Lesnar did a suplex. That's strength of 1,000 suns. Other than that, I mean, there isn't really anything to say. I have to assume the match was incredibly short, something like 8 minutes, and it felt really disjointed. Boogs lifted Jay at one point, and Jimmy jumped on him, and Boogs' legs gave out. And after that, it was for the next 2 minutes. It was a 2-on-1 with Nakamura until the Usos won. And I'm going to have to. And the match felt like it just didn't get started. Was that just me?
It just felt like it just felt so slow.
Yeah,
it just didn't feel like
it felt like they were building up to a crescendo. This would probably have been twice as long. This was when the match was about to start and like building up some pace. I have to assume Boogs was legitimately injured and they called an audible right there to just get it over with.
That had to happen because
it ended up, in my opinion, being the second worst match of the entire card of both evenings.
Yeah, and it should have been. I mean, had it not he got injured, I figured it would probably have been more.
I think it would have been great. I mean, it wasn't that it started out bad. It was more like, a match has a certain life. It usually either starts out fast and furious, or it starts out slow and then builds up to like a big energy ending. And this was obviously one of those that starts slow and then build up, except we never got around to the big ending. It was just like, it was the slow part, and then it was over. And I remember thinking, at first I thought, okay, they're going to play up Boogs' injury. And after that, I was like, oh shit, he's out for like a year now with a torn MCL or something. Because that was way too quick. That one ended.
Yeah, it did. So I mean, it really is nobody's fault.
No, I don't want to say anything bad about this match.
It wasn't like a bad match. It's just ended because of an injury.
Yeah,
they don't want to be like, okay, we have to take a time out because it's injured or something like that. So it's like, okay,
if you are actually injured, Rick Boogs, please get better real soon, because I have really starting to like what you do with Nakamura. I like the partnership there with Nakamura. But yeah, I don't want to say anything bad about this match because it's not anyone's fault. But it's just, if you watch this and you want to skip one, this will be the one to skip from day one, just because it's It is.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
much
the
to say.
Usos won, obviously. So.
Yeah, the Usos won. I don't know if that was the original plan, but when they called an audible, it turned into a 1-on-2, 1D on Nakamura. It's over. Fine, good. Moving on.
All right, we'll move on then. Next match,
Yeah.
we got Happy Corbin versus Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Apart from the fact that I'm a bit tired of this feud, which fortunately seems to be over now,
Let's hope so.
this was actually a pretty good match. I mean, it was a bit slow and deliberate, in part, but it had a pretty good pace, and they do work well together, Corbin and McIntyre.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I don't really have anything to complain about with the match itself. Corbin at one point hit the end of day, and McIntyre kicked out. I think that's the first time ever, at least outside NXT, that someone has kicked out of the end of days.
Yeah.
I generally, as you know, I generally have my issues with them not protecting finishers more. But if you have to end a feud like this, it was okay. I don't really have nothing to
But
say
it's
to that.
WrestleMania. They have to
Yeah.
kick
And again,
out.
it's the end of the
This
feud, and I mean,
Drilligan rushing
I can buy
in.
this in this particular situation. Um, I would maybe have wished it was a title match if they are going to, do something. Okay, Corbin isn't like the biggest and brightest star, but if you're going to have no one has kicked out of this finisher, and now Drew McIntyre is going to do it in a random match no one really cares about, you could have built that better. But um, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about this. Solid match, not good, not bad.
The best part
Solid.
when Drew McIntyre he drew back after he won because he won. Spoiler alert!
Yeah.
He cut the
Spoiler
freaking
alert.
ropes with the sword.
Yeah. He took his sword. What is his sword is called? Bianca or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and just when what's Corbin's Moss was about to go into the ring, and McIntyre was just like, "Nope, I have a sword," and then cut the ropes. And it's
Right,
like,
I
oh,
was funny. I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah.
no,
And
that's.
Moss was like, "Okay, I'll just
I'll just
go
go
away now."
now. Don't.
Yeah.
I'll just.
I'll just move over here. It's
No,
fine.
no,
It's
it's
fine.
fine,
It's
it's
fine.
fine,
It's
it's
fine.
fine. Just go.
Again, not a bad match, a solid match, not a good match, just a solid match. I enjoyed it well enough. It was just too bad that it came right after the first match.
Right.
It's like at this point it was still like, okay, and when is Mania going to start exactly?
It's kind of like something you see on the pre-shows.
Yeah, exactly. This could have been a pre-show match, or it's basically a mid-card match. And
Yeah.
again, that would be fine. It's just either they should have done a bit more with this one, or I don't know. I mean, again, no one is to blame for how the first match turned out. I just feel like in this case, maybe they should have then said, "You get 5 minutes extra. Do something spectacular to
Right.
these two, or something." But well, anyway, there we are. McIntyre won. It seems he might be the next one to get a shot at the unified champion, who I'm
We're
not
not
going to
talking
say who
about
is.
that right now.
No, no, exactly. I'm just saying, but
Well, don't
that
say.
probably means that this is over now. So this is good.
All right, well, let's move on.
Yeah.
We got The Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic.
I am going to hate myself for saying this, and I want you to delete this video afterwards so no
Nope.
one can prove it, but this was a really good match for
I
what
will.
it was.
I mean, you got really good stars, and then
Yeah.
Logan.
I mean, Logan Paul. One thing I said when we discussed this last week is that Logan Paul is a boxer. Boxers are not necessarily the most natural wrestlers, but he is as he is fairly young and fairly athletic. He has obviously learned some moves. He did a pretty good frog splash at one point, amongst other things.
Yeah, it wasn't
Um,
bad.
Miz carried the match. Of course he did.
Well, duh.
Just like Priest carried the match last year with Bad Bunny. Or at least mostly carried the match last year with Bad Bunny. But it was actually a pretty good match. It really, really was a pretty good match. Dominic has become quite good. Logan Paul was carried pretty well. That 619 into a tornado DDT, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that.
That they did at one point. And of course, Corey Graves is still the best heel commentator in the business. Best one since Bobby Heenan. Man, he carried this match by himself, basically on the comments.
Agreed.
Again, good match. Logan Paul was decent. I don't think he was better than Bad Bunny, but give
I
him a
mean,
couple of months of training, and I think he could be.
he was better than most of these
Yeah,
celebrities that
he
come
he
out.
he is
With,
definitely. I mean, because of his boxing career, he is definitely naturally athletic. You
yes.
have to admit that. Give
Yes.
him a couple of months training, and I think he could actually be maybe better than Bad Bunny. Right
Yeah.
now, no, I
I
don't
mean,
think he was.
yeah. So I
Um,
agree.
but other than that, I
The,
mean, Logan Paul and Miz won.
yay! I was
Yay!
right.
As was at first, I was like, I think that was what I predicted last time, but I ended up on the Mysterios. I mean, Paul should win because it's a Paul and Miz should win because it's a celebrity match, but I'm not sure because they were playing the heels. But yeah, Miz and Paul won, and at first I was like, okay, what does this do for the Mysterios going forward? But of course, then everything became clear when Miz decided to then
Skull
give the
Crush.
soul crushing
Logan.
finale on Logan Paul.
That
So I
was
was like,
great.
oh, that's why they did it. That's what the whole thing was about.
That was fantastic.
That was awesome.
That made
I
me
have watched
happy.
that on slow mo about 19 times.
That made me happy. That was like, yeah,
Yep.
this is WrestleMania.
Yeah, this is where WrestleMania starts. Exactly. And yeah, this was kind of where WrestleMania started for me. Like the first two matches could have been on every Raw or every SmackDown ever.
Right.
This is the first match that felt like a pay-per-view match to me. Again, not again the first match not by anyone's fault, but it still ended up like that. But yeah, this again really good match for for a celebrity match. Really fun to see. Um, not much to say. I still don't know where this leaves the Mysterios. I mean, I can't. When was the last time they won a feud?
I don't
If did
know.
they ever win a feud?
Nope.
Um, I think if you want to do something with them, you have to let them beat someone at
Somebody.
some point.
Yeah.
Just for the hell of it. But other
Just
than
why
that,
not?
yeah, we're going to have Logan Paul versus Miz at Backlash, I assume, or maybe at SummerSlam. I don't know how long that contract lasts. That's going to be a match, and well, we're going to talk about that if and when it happens. But it was fun. I liked it. I have to
Alright.
say, I liked it.
Let's move on to the next match. We got the Raw Women's Championship match. Becky Lynch defending her belt against Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair came out with a marching band.
Yeah, which was a bit weird, but she did.
I thought I
Becky
liked it.
looks. I like Becky's new look. It's probably my favorite Becky look, honestly, since she did the whole steampunk thing a couple of years ago. Um, Other than that, this was probably competition for best match of the card of both days.
Agreed.
I don't know if it was quite there, but it was definitely one of those two I would mention as best match of the entire thing.
I mean, I enjoyed the match.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean,
This was where
they're always pretty good, and there's all a bunch of close calls and.
yeah, and the pace was amazing. They did it. They one of the things I have always complained a little bit about modern wrestling is that the pace is always a bit slow. It's not. I mean, I don't want it like entirely the old days in WCW where there was no pauses ever. I was like, "Are you hurt?" I don't know because you just keep jumping up and doing stuff again. But I do feel sometimes in modern wrestling the pace is a little bit slow. They're down, hurting a little bit too long after they do a move. This one was fast paced. It was really awesome. They're working great together. Technical wrestling, power moves, reversals. Each of their styles just working perfectly together. I think it was Becky at one point doing like a top rope roll kick to the face.
I mean, I gotta say, so Becky just plays an amazing heel.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely.
You know, it's like I like when she starts like pinning her, and then he's Becky, you know, and then Bianca, you know, gets the shoulder up. She's like figuring out, like they were both at the same time. They're like, "What the hell do I need to do with this person?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like just kick him down.
Exactly. And
And
it wasn't like they just kept hitting, you know, each other's finishes at each other. It was just a really, really good paced wrestling match. This was the first, the one before the Mysterious and Paul that felt like a pay-per-view match. This was the first one that sort of felt like, okay, now Mania is starting. This is a WrestleMania match.
This is like one of those matches where I was just like, I mean, I didn't really care who would win.
I was just enjoying it.
I was enjoying it. It was just like one of those matches where I'm glued to my screen because I want to see what everything is going on.
It's probably go.
It's like one of those matches, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. It's the match, except for the main event of day one. This was the match I have the fewest notes to, and that was because, like you said, I was absorbed in this match. I was just enjoying it.
Yeah.
I forgot to take notes halfway.
Yeah, me too. I was just like, I didn't really. I was like, oh yeah, wait, who? Oh yeah, let's take notes. Forgot. Duh. I'm just like, no. I'm just like, oh my god, that was so close, and that was so close. I'm like, my heart. I was at like one point where Bianca is like at the count of like 9 when she was like, oh my god, hurry up and get in.
I legitimately thought she was going to whiff that. I legitimately thought she wasn't going to make it.
I didn't either. I was like, no, not like this. Not like this.
Exactly. The referee has to do the 7, 8, 9.
I'm like,
oh,
like man, like just a second. Yeah. My heart, I was like, oh my god. My kid was like, Mom, are you okay? I'm like, no.
A lot of matches. This was one of the reasons I liked this Mania from the start. On principle, there wasn't a lot of matches where I really cared about who was going to win, which means that I could just enjoy them for the actual matches.
Right.
And it didn't really matter. I wasn't like, oh shit, this is going to ruin the storyline when they're going to do a swerve or whatever. This is just like, whatever happens here, it's going to be awesome. So let's just have an awesome match. And we really, really did. This match was amazing. Those two work so well together.
They do. They really do. And the winner was
Bianca Belair.
So back-to-back winning the WrestleManias.
Yeah, well done, Bianca, and deserved, by the way.
All right, definitely.
I assume we are going to see a rematch at Backlash.
Of course, I'm sure.
I mean, I don't know who else. I don't know what else.
If Bailey comes back, well, other than that, I don't know.
Bailey might come back and be a part of something. There is that. We know she's about to come back now. Maybe already tonight or on Friday.
If you notice that Bianca Belair pretty much beat most of the horsemen.
Yeah. I think Bailey is the only one she hasn't beaten, actually.
No.
At least in a major pay-per-view. No, of course, she hasn't fought Charlotte. My bad.
She hasn't fought Charlotte. She fought Bailey, but she had the belt. She was defending her belt at the time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she started out with Bailey last year. Yeah, of course she did. But yeah, no, this was just... I don't think I have anything more to say about this.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was very interesting. Really I mean, it's a good... If you want to start off right... Skip the, go to the Miz.
This one should have been the first match of the card, in my opinion. They should just have started out with this and gotten people going. Yeah.
And stuff like that. But
putting it right in the middle of the card was a bit weird to me, but I mean, I'm not complaining. It was just awesome.
Yeah, well, it's WWE. What can I say? Anyway, let's move on to the next match. So we have Seth Rollins versus a mysterious person. The mysterious person was Cody Rhodes. Sorry.
Cody Rhodes, the American.
Oh my gosh! I can't believe it was Cody Rhodes. Who would have guessed?
God, he's back. I am so shocked. It wasn't like everyone knew this for the last 3 weeks.
Right?
I mean, I remember back in 2016 when AJ came into the company and was the surprise entrance at the Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
people sort of knew it was an opportunity, but no one dared to believe it. I mean, AJ in WWE is never gonna happen. Ever gonna happen. And then he was suddenly there. It was like, oh, this time. I mean, everyone was super happy about it. The crowd was super into it. I also don't think there was a single one of those 78,000 people who wasn't aware it was going to be Cody.
I mean, right?
And like you could see the second Seth came out and started like, "Where's my opponent? Cue the music. Who is it going to be?" Everyone was just
Cody,
Cody.
Like, yeah, we already know
like,
who it is. Okay.
everyone, which is fine. It's not a problem. It's just if they tried to keep it secret, they failed miserably.
I also like to put out a missing Muppets on the Sesame Street.
Someone has gone missing.
You might want to check to see if there's any missing blue Muppets. Okay,
Seth
Sesame Street.
Entrance costume. Yeah.
That his entrance with the people, like, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it either.
I'm like, what? I don't get it. Like, what?
There's a lot of what Seth does right now I don't get, but at least he's entertaining, right?
I mean, he's very entertaining, and you know he can carry people very well.
Yeah, I have said it before. I say it again. I still believe that maybe with an exception of AJ Styles, but I do believe Seth Rollins is the best pound for pound wrestler in the company.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, both in the ring, on the mic, just everything. I really do believe he is overall just the single best performer they have.
I agree.
There's a lot of super good ones. I mean, I'm not trying to. I think there are people who might be better on the mic than him. Kevin Owens, for instance, but I think Seth is then better in the ring. So it's just like overall pound for pound, I think Seth is just overall the best they have. Yes. And this is why he was, of course, the perfect opponent to Rhodes.
Definitely.
So, yeah, Toya is worried about missing Muppets. So Rollins' costume is just basically gay Ric Flair, and that's very difficult considering the outfits of Ric Flair. To gay up Ric Flair should be impossible, but somehow Seth Rollins managed.
Congratulations, Seth.
Yeah. This was a super fun match. It wasn't a super good match. I think Toria and I talked about this earlier. This was a match that should have had one or two more like either dark matches or house shows to work out the kinks.
Well, I mean, obviously they couldn't do that because it's a surprise. Obviously.
Then the secret would really be out.
Right.
But I mean, they worked really well together. But
I mean,
it was still obvious that they hadn't really been able to like plan and practice this thing. Not really.
The thing with me is honestly the difficulty that I have with this is because I really don't know Cody Rhodes' wrestling style.
No.
Because I never really watched him. Even when he was in WWE, I really wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you.
No, that's true. And I mean, he didn't even have a style back then. He has developed a style.
Right.
I've seen a couple of matches. When I say I don't watch AEW, it's actually wrong. I don't watch AEW shows. If someone says
you mean you watch some of the matches, you don't watch the actual show.
I usually try to find it and watch it. Like there was one with who was it? Hangman Page and Jericho a little while ago. That was amazing. I watched it. It was fine. It was really fine. I mean, I've seen a couple of Rhodes matches. Was it Jericho or was it CM Punk? Fuck, I can't remember now. Anyway, I watched a couple of AEW matches on and on. They're fine. I mean, it's not that I don't care there, but I have seen Rhodes and he does have a style. But it's true that because he didn't really get to show it the first time he was there. Yeah, it's true. You didn't really know what to expect from him, and it just felt a little bit disjointed. Not because it was bad, just because these two.
It was like something. It was like I think we had discussed it how like towards the middle it was like okay, now this feels a little bit better. I'm like okay. it's
Yeah,
kind of
once
like
they started getting into a groove, it started working.
yeah,
It was like they need to feel each other out first. Give this another month, 2 months, because of course they're going to fight again.
right.
This is not the end of the feud. I absolutely cannot imagine that. They're going to be fighting again. Give this another month or two with a couple of house show matches, and this is going to be something special. This wasn't a bad match at all. It just felt a little. This could have been a better match. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Definitely agree.
but they at one point though they had a really cool like double over the rope suplex on each other.
Yeah, that was
So
pretty
they
cool.
somehow did a suplex on the other, but both of them did a suplex on the other person at the same time over
It
the
was
rope.
like
That was a bit weird,
weird
but it
and
was pretty
crazy. Like,
cool.
how did they manage that? I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, oh,
what?
that's super cool. How that one?
That was pretty
It
awesome.
also felt like to me it took a little while for the crowd to get into it.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, maybe that's just because again the match felt a little bit off. Again, not bad, just a little
I
bit
mean, because
off.
it's like I feel as though the match, it goes hand in hand. Like the people in the match feed off the audience, and the audience feed
Yeah,
off
of
the
course.
match, and
Yeah,
then
exactly.
we at home feel off the people and the audience. I'm like, if they feel it, I'm like, well, maybe it's just
Yeah.
not just me.
No, it's true. That is also something to give up because I was like, when the match began, the audience was super into it, and then it sort of died. But then again, halfway through the match, as you said, it felt like they started to click more,
Right.
or they just let loose a bit more, and the match got into it. And at the end, they were fully on board. The audience was fully on board with it. Rhodes won, by the way, as of course
Of course he
everyone
was.
knew he would.
Yeah.
I say that we have a situation later
We thought the
in
same thing, but I mean, it
where we
wasn't
thought
like,
the same
yeah,
thing,
but you know
but
what? When we get to there, I will say something about that.
yeah, exactly. But no, Rhodes won as everyone knew he would, and as he should, by the way. And it was an okay, fine match, and I am looking incredibly much forward to seeing what these two guys can do
Yes, I'm
next time.
looking forward to the American Nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I like Cody Rhodes. I like Cody Rhodes back in the day. My problem with Cody Rhodes was that I always said it back in the day. I think he's an amazing wrestler, but it feels like he wants to be coasting on his father's name. He felt like a spoiled brat. Felt
Yes.
like it always felt like he thought he deserved to be on top because he was Dusty's kid.
Well, then it had like that. Didn't they have
I mean,
stable
he
with
left.
Randy Orton and
Yeah,
Todd
he
Biasi, and
was
they
in
all had like, oh,
the
our father, like, you know. But it's like, here's the thing about Randy Orton. Randy Orton earned his mark.
everything he got into. Yeah, exactly. When Rhodes left the company back in the day, it was reported, I don't know if it's true, but it was reported he left because he felt he should be one of the top stars instead of a like upper mid carder.
Right.
He was an upper mid carder with Ted DiBiase's kid. Ted DiBiase was his name, Ted DiBiase Jr.,
Yeah.
who I think is completely out of wrestling now, doing something entirely different.
Oh, good for
Rhodes
him.
then
That's
went
what he wants
on
to do.
and did his own thing. He was in Japan, he was in TNA, then he started what eventually became AEW. These days, I feel like he has earned to be a top star.
Yeah.
I mean, he has shown that what he can do and that he is good at it, and so on and so on. I just felt my problem with Rhodes back in the day was never his talent, but more like feel entitled, dude. I don't like that.
Yeah, I just never,
Considering what other people need to do.
I just
You
never
get?
liked him. Like Goldust, I enjoyed
Yeah,
Goldust. I enjoyed the
yeah.
father. I just did not like Cody Rhodes.
I mean, everyone liked Dusty, right? I don't
Right?
think I've ever met a wrestling fan who didn't like
But
Dusty.
like, I just didn't like.
Um,
I didn't like
no,
Cody Rhodes.
I,
Just like.
I let's put it like this: I feel like he has earned his bones now, and I am ready to like him.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm
so
ready to
to
give
speak.
him a chance. I don't know
Yeah.
if I exactly like him yet.
So
I like what he did so far at WrestleMania towards the
yeah.
end,
So
but I'm really have to give him a chance and see what he can do
absolutely.
in business. But let's
I
move on.
won't. I won't have a single problem with him winning this feud and moving up to a main title match.
Right.
Not at all.
Oh no, definitely
But
not.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what
We'll
happens
see how it
next
goes.
time.
I mean,
This
you
is
never
not
know. He
done
might
yet.
defend that belt from whatever. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah,
We
I
will
know.
see. But
We will
let's
see.
move on to the next match. We got the SmackDown Women's Championship match of Charlotte Flair defending her belt against Ronda Rousey.
I think Ronda has either Ronda has gotten better over her pause, or Flair just did a really good carry job. Because I think this might have been the best match I've seen Ronda in since the triple threat where she lost the belt to Becky.
Agreed. It could be a little bit of both. Could be a little bit of both.
Yeah, it could,
A little
be
bit of A, a
of
little
both.
bit of B.
I mean, Charlotte is still Charlotte, and
I mean, Charlotte's always gonna be
Charlotte
Charlotte. Charlotte is amazing.
Yeah,
A
in every
raising
way. But
wrestler.
this
She
is
like when she says she's the best in the business. Not a lie. You can
it's
either you can
difficult to
hate it if you
argue,
want
at
to.
least.
It's the truth.
Yeah, it is probably true. In raw talent, yeah, she is probably for the women what Rollins is for the men.
Yes.
Sorry, she's not my absolute favorite, but yeah, she is probably the best. Yeah, I think Flair carried, but I really do think Rousey have gotten better. Maybe she has gotten some more
Well, I mean,
practice, or maybe
she has been getting a lot of practice with
yeah.
Shayna Baszler and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And
also,
other. Go ahead.
Maybe now, this second run, she doesn't feel like she felt looser. Maybe she feel like she doesn't have to like be as good as she did the first time, because I mean she was Ronda Rousey.
Right.
She came in. She had to be.
She was Ronda Rousey. She was getting all like she was winning all the time. So this time it's kind of like, okay, I can chase.
Yeah. This time I can be a wrestler.
Right.
I don't have to be Ronda Rousey, the star in or the MMA star in wrestling. I can be Ronda Rousey, the wrestler. If that's the case, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get out of her. Absolutely.
Oh, definitely.
It was fun. I was entertained all the way through. I think the pace was fine. The match was good. I had fun.
I had fun too, up until the end.
Yeah, very weird ending. There was a ref bump. Ronda got Charlotte into her submission, and there was a ref bump, and then things happened. Another ref came down. Charlotte hit the big boot and got the 1, 2, 3, and retained.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that because my screen went black. It was that quick. I was like,
that was basically
what
the first thing Toya said to me when I watch it the day after, because I'm in Denmark and it's on at like 1 to 5 in the morning. So I usually watch it the next day, and then when Toya woke up after her night's sleep, the first thing she said to me was like, I have things to say about the women's match and Peacock. Okay, good morning to you too. Good morning to you too, Toya. Glad to hear from you.
Well, it's just it was like, I've been watching, okay, I had watched the pre-show thing. It started like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So like by the time it got to like the SmackDown Women's Championship, it was like 8 or something like that. I've been watching all this time. There was nothing wrong with this damn thing. Nothing. There was no black spots. There was no pauses. There was no nothing. It was smooth as fucking peanut butter on fucking bread. All of a sudden, as soon as it gets to the match, I see the part where the ref got knocked out, and that Ronda had her in the submission.
Yep.
And then Ronda, I guess that's the last thing I saw. And then I see Charlotte Flair going up there, and the winner, and you're still championess. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, are you serious right now? Thank goodness for replays, I guess.
On the international network, we did have a couple of black spots, but it was like a second here and there. Nothing serious. So yeah, it was just Peacock doesn't want you to watch. Peacock is in on a conspiracy,
I guess,
to not let people see Ronda Rousey lose. That's what they're doing.
And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I don't have a problem with Ronda losing. I think it's much better that she lost, because then this feud can go a little bit longer.
Not a problem with that.
I don't have a problem with that at all. So
I'm just confused about why they had her lose, basically.
I guess because they wanted to have this feud a little bit longer, maybe.
Maybe?
Probably.
Or maybe, again, to make her an actual
wrestler, maybe work
rather
for
than,
it, you know,
rather than
like
a Brock event star.
right.
Again, all of those could be good. I'm not angry about it. I'm just a bit confused. Actually, I think, is this only the second match Ronda has ever lost?
I mean, she lost the other WrestleMania.
She lost the triple threat, yeah.
She lost
But
a. No, I don't think so. I think she might have lost one of the tag teams or something like that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, she lost.
But like
as
far as singles singles, no, not singles. So
anyway, it doesn't particularly matter. It was just a thought I had. Is this only the second match Ronda Rousey has ever lost?
Yes.
It doesn't particularly matter. Again, I'm fine with whatever happens. Again, I know we keep saying it. Bayley's on her way back. We know they're going to do something with Bayley when she comes back, and we don't know what brand she's going to be on.
Right.
So we don't. A lot of the women's sort of championship card is a bit in a flux. We will see what happens. But yeah, again, this wasn't a bad match. It was a really fun match. It was just, Toya couldn't see the end with most of North America, and the rest of us was like, why the hell did that happen? But okay, good on you, Charlotte. Well done.
Well done, Charlotte. Congratulations.
Yeah, very well done.
Let's go on to the main event.
The main event.
You thought that was the main event? Ha 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 ha! No.
I did think that was the main event, actually. I really did think that was the main event, especially because I was looking at I watched it afterwards. I was looking at the times like, this will probably go another 10 minutes, and then we can. No, it didn't.
No. So there's more.
Going to happen.
Something else is going to, because obviously we forgot about the KO show.
Damn, we did. And thank heavens that was there.
Right.
Because Kevin Owens, of course, have been bad-mouthing Texas for ages, and no one could imagine why that would happen. No one knew why that would happen. And in the second worst kept secret of the evening, Steve Austin, of course, came out to have an interview about it.
I mean, it wasn't a secret. Everybody knew he was coming out.
Everyone knew he was coming out. The secret was, of course, that it ended up being an official sanctioned match. Austin's first match in like 17 years. More than that, 19 years. The best part is he didn't look like he lost very many steps, actually.
Oh, no, he looked like he was pretty, I mean, you know, a little bit slower.
He's always been a brawler, right?
Yeah.
A brawler has an easier time getting back into it than a full technician.
True.
Because there's fewer moves you have to do, or more, fewer ways you have to contort your body to get it done. But the man took bumps. I mean, this was a 12-minute match.
Yeah, it was a good match. It was a no holds bars match.
Yeah.
And they were all over the arena and stuff. So yeah, it was pretty good. Or stadium, I should say.
Just beat down Owens for 12 minutes. No. He took a fucking stunner.
Right.
Owens hit a stunner on Austin.
Yep.
At one point. So yeah, I was super happy. Again, we talked about this.
Oh, that was super exciting. I was super happy about this. I told Tim, I was like, if it wasn't for the fact that this match didn't happen, I would have been pissed off for the rest of the darn day about this. I would have been like mad. But I was like, this saved
so much
the day for me.
It was super fun. It was not a world beater match. Not the best match Owens have ever had. It was certainly not the best match Austin has ever had.
It was just a fun match. It was just cool to see Austin just.
Sometimes.
I mean, when he came out, the crowd was going wild. Like when he first came out, he came back and he goes and he's like doing his middle fingers and stuff like that. He goes backstage and then gets his ATV, and I'm like, oh yes, I'm so happy.
I think there was only one bigger pop of the entire WrestleMania weekend than when Austin came out, and that was Taker's.
Yeah, Taker. Definitely Undertaker.
When Taker got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
We're introducing all the inductees of 2022, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's how cool is it to have that such a...
so awesome. It was so good thinking. Why haven't they done this before?
Right? Like, why are it taking so damn long?
For those of you who haven't watched Hall of Fame inductions before, which you should, by the way. A lot of them are super, super cool.
They really
say
are.
Goodbye to or thank you.
I still have not watched The
various
Undertaker's whole speech yet.
No, I'm not gonna say anything about it. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I'm just saying this year, instead of having it to be like an individual event, like a black tie event, in some conference hall, they did it as part of the SmackDown tapings. So the
Yeah.
entire go home SmackDown crowd was there buying tickets to SmackDown. Also got you like ringside tickets in some cases to
Which-
the By the way, Scott Steiner was surprisingly lucid and sane. I was surprised. He sounded like an actual human being. That was weird. He hasn't done that for 30 years.
Like, you're scaring me, Scott.
Yeah. Can you please act a little bit more steroid crazy? Because that is weird when you act like a normal person. But no, when Taker came out, it was like I didn't quite tear up, but damn, it was close. When it was
like I didn't see his like the whole speech. I just saw some like the clip they had on YouTube, and I'm just like,
yeah.
And they're like saying, you deserve it. I was like, oh my god, I'm not gonna cry. I was like, I don't even know if I can watch this speech right now. I'm
not going to say anything about the speech.
Oh my gosh. I'm just like, I'm like trying to prepare myself. Like,
yeah.
Deep breaths.
I'm not going to say anything about the speech itself, but it was probably the most tear-inducing since Ric Flair's back in 2009.
Because I mean, it's like,
so get ready for that one, Toya.
I was just like, I mean,
But when that when that gong sounded, and the crowd just went freaking bananas.
Right.
Like, this is the last time we're ever gonna hear this, and the crowd blew the freaking roof off. If it hadn't been for that, Austin coming out would have been clearly the top of the evening.
Definitely.
But yeah, that Taker won the day, which was well deserved, by the way.
Definitely.
But anyway, yeah, no. Owens and Austin had a really fun match. Like, again, it wasn't the best match of any time. No one would ever say that, but just the nostalgia and watching Austin go again. Austin is one, especially because Austin never got that goodbye match, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly.
It's even Edge. Edge went out at his height, but Edge ended his original career. Of course, he's back now. But Edge ended his original career with winning at, I think, what was it, SummerSlam? One of the really big ones. Winning the bloody title with Christian next to him. And then he had to retire. He did go out on, like, the top. Austin just went out after some random fight where he got injured. It was like, okay, bye. Most popular wrestler in the world.
I know, right? I was like, this is sad. I'm not gonna see him anymore wrestling. This sucks.
Rock was the only one who could match him in those days, and Rock was already on the way out to Hollywood. So, goodbye, by far the most popular wrestler in the world right now. Of course, that meant that Triple H got his "I am going to rule wrestling for 4 years or 2 years," but yeah, no, it was just good to see Austin get that moment. I don't know if he ever wanted it as such, but it was so good to see for the audience, and for Kevin Owens, who, despite playing this every time the camera cut to Kevin Owens, you could see him trying to suppress a smile.
Yeah, it was like he was like, get happy.
Dude, you're supposed to be the heel.
You're not supposed to smile.
You're like grinning like a fucking schoolboy. That's what
he's like, I got the key to the candy store. I'm like, no.
Owens put out a tweet today, guys. You should really go and see. It's like, yep. Who's the biggest winner of WrestleMania 2022? This guy. I got to work with fucking Steve Austin. What more do you want? I mean, again, we mentioned it on Wednesday. Some people have that one guy they grow up with and just idolize 100%. Again, I keep coming back to Edge. For Edge, it was Hulk Hogan. So when Edge got to work with Hogan in the tag team match, capturing the titles, actually, it was just like, this is my dream come true. With Owens, it's the same with Austin. So that saved the evening.
Yes,
not that the evening was bad, by the way.
I mean, it wasn't a bad evening. It's just That one part that pissed me off, and I'm just like,
yeah.
And I totally forgot about and it's like, oh, this is over, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the KO show.
The KO show. We got to actually see Austin freaking wrestle, and we did. Again, it wasn't just Owens being tossed around. It was an actual wrestling match. It was amazing.
It was good. It was so good, and obviously Steve Austin won.
And Steve Austin won, of course.
And then we celebrated with the beard and everything else, and then I think he freaking. But didn't he like stun one of the announcers?
Yeah, he stunned. Of course he did. He stunned.
Because why not?
He stunned Corey Graves' favorite hate object. He stunned. Oh God, what's his name? The bald black dude. The former wrestler himself. He wasn't tough enough back in the day.
I don't remember his name.
I don't remember his either.
Saxton?
Byron Saxton.
Byron Saxton, yeah.
He stunned Byron Saxton, yes. Much to Corey Graves'
delight.
Delight and enjoyment. Much to everyone's delight and enjoyment. It was great. Thank you for that one, Austin. You saved the end of that one for, I think, a lot of people. A lot of domestic people who missed the end of the women's match.
This is true. But that's it for night 1.
I give this a C+.
I give this a C.
Yeah, that's fine. Again, it had a couple of really good moments. The women's match, Rhodes and Seth was fine, and then I mean, there was a lot of decent matches there. It just didn't, except for the women's match, it didn't really feel like Mania until Kevin Owens and Austin. So, yeah, see, it's fine. It's good.
Well, guys,
night 2 gets better.
We'll see. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. This will be out on Wednesday when I put this out, so it will be out then.
Wednesday.
You'll see it there, not now. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But we'll see you guys tomorrow.
On Monday, so that's why we're telling you it will be out on Wednesday when you see this on Wednesday, because then it will be out.
Okay, sure. Anyways, we'll see you guys tomorrow on Thursday for night 2. Hi, bye.
Bye.